Today I want to show you how to save thousands of dollars on your mortgage or on paying back your car loan that you'll never have to pay back. It's totally legal, totally legit, so let's check it out. Hey everybody, Chad Cruiser here with Health and Homestead. So we're going to look at the information, we're going to make it super simple. And so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to this website right here. It is mortgagecalculator.org. I'm going to put the links down in the description so you're not going to have to remember any of this. There's two places on the website and I'll have links to both of them. But here it is, mortgagecalculator.org. So right at the top of the page, you're going to see this graph here. Below that is what we're looking at here. This is the view loan breakdown. We're looking at that, and they've randomly put in this. They put down a home value of $300,000, a $60,000 down payment. Now, by the way, that's a 20% down payment. If you put a 20% down payment, and the reason they put that in there, because if you do that, you avoid paying a monthly penalty called PMI, or private mortgage insurance. So if you're able to save a 20% down payment or more, you're better off, because that puts 20% equity in the house right off the bat. They now know this house is a bit safer for them to loan to you, so then they avoid giving you the penalty that is called PMI. We're going to see that in just a second. So we have this $60,000 down payment. The loan amount then, because you take the $60,000 out of the $300,000, ends up being $240,000, and they're putting in just a random 3.8% interest rate. We're going to put that down to 3, really just for the sake of having a very simplistic whole number, not because you're going to get that. You could get less, you could get more, depending on where you're at, but we're just putting that in, and if you're watching this later on, it's probably going to be going up next year anyway. But so here we are, 3% interest over the course of 30 years. Now, the shorter the better. If you can get a 15-year, you're better than a 30. If you could do 10, you'd be even better. But we're looking at a 30-year loan in this case. And so the starting date was just randomly going to put December of 2021. The property tax they put in there, I'm just going to take that out just so that we don't have to think about that right now. And this is the PMI, an extra 0.5% penalty that you're going to have to spend every month, because if you didn't put down a 20% of the price of the house. So, but since this person did, we're going to put that at 0, so you don't have to be penalized every month. And home insurance, we're going to pay that on our own, so we won't put that in there. And there's no homeowners association. So then you have all this here, and we're not trying to compare loan types right now, but we want to see this right below calculate. Don't hit calculate yet. Here you have something that says show amortization tables, or the amortization schedule. Now I want to take off draw charts, and I want to see right here where it says show monthly amortization schedule or table. And so let's click on that, and then I'm going to hit calculate. And once I hit calculate, what I see here, it's going to give me the breakdown, the mortgage repayment summary. So at this point, we're going to be paying $1,011.85 every single month. And once again, it tells us we did the $60,000 down payment, which is 20%. And this mortgage is going to be done with, if we pay every month, just this $1,011.85, it will be done in November of 2051. And the total interest paid on this 3% loan, here's our 3%, is what? $124,265.89. So you pay a total, so you got a loan of $240,000, but you pay $364,000. Now, you might be looking at that and thinking, wow, that's a lot of interest, right? $124,000 plus. You said, I thought it was just a 3% loan. It's an APR, or annual percentage rate. Now, what does that mean? Now, if you would look at it like this, if I take a calculator and I put $240,000 times 0.03, that would be 3% of $240,000. You'd think, isn't that just $7,200? Shouldn't this thing be like $247,200 rather than $364,000 here? Well, the percentage rate, it is 3% of what you owe every single year, not over the course of the 30 years. This is how it breaks down. We're going to look down below, and what do we see here? Let's look closer. Down at the bottom, underneath the information here, you have your monthly amortization schedule, this printout. And what this shows in the first month of your loan, now you can put in wherever you're at. You can actually get from your bank, or you could download the amortization schedule for your specific loan, where you're at, no matter where you are in it. They'll let you know this month you pay this much interest and this much principal. But in this case, the very first month, you pay $600 interest, meaning that's the gift that you give to the bank just because you appreciate them. You think they're so great and you just love giving them your money. No, that's just what they get for being willing to give you a loan, right? And so the first month you pay, the principal is $411.85. So this right here, the $600 does not go. You're like, I paid over $1,000, and you look at your balance after the first month, and you've only paid off $411, but you paid over $1,000 because you only paid the principal towards your balance. That's the way a loan works. Now, here's the amazing thing. You say, Chad, I know all this. Everybody knows this, but you may not know this. Now, some of you probably know, but this is phenomenal to know this very next thing. If the first month, instead of paying what you were asked to pay, which is right here, the $1,011.85, if what you did is you went to the second month and you saw, okay, what I owe the first month is I have to give, every month you have to pay the $1,011.85. Every month, no matter what, every month you have to pay that. But if the first month you, instead of just paying the $1,000, so let's put that in our calculator, $1,011.85, and so we're going to add something to that. What if we were to scrounge around, maybe cut your cable bill? The average person, I think, pays like $150 a month on their cable bills. I mean, it blows my mind that people would pay that kind of money to watch television, but nevertheless, they do. And so you could cut your cable bill. Maybe you're spending $150 a month on your phone bill, and you could switch over to like Visible or one of these other companies where same services as places like Verizon, but you pay $25 a month per person. Incredible. And so now maybe you're saving $100 a month right there. So you tack that on. But imagine you scrounge around and you look at your next month. The next month's principal is $412.88. If this month here, the first month in December, you pay your $1,011.85, but you scrounge up and you save another $400 right here, your next principal payment, $412.88. If you could the first month pay right here, $1,424, you know what happens? You pay the next month and you never have to pay the interest. This right here disappears. You just saved yourself almost $600 that you never have to pay back. You say, Chad, is that right? Shouldn't I give the bank the money that they so desperately need? No, they don't desperately need your money. They love getting it. They love it when you just pay the minimum price, because that means you're just handing them, hand over fist cash that they get to keep, right? And so the more you do what I'm sharing with you, it's totally legal, totally legit. If, by the way, one caveat to this is that there are loans, I don't know if, I can't even believe they can do this, but there are loans where there are prepayment penalties. Most loans are probably not going to have that, at least not in the United States. There are loans like this, so you'll have to check, is there a prepayment penalty? Because sometimes they don't want you to pay it back because they want all that, well, everybody wants the interest, but most loans are probably not going to have that. So if you don't have a prepayment penalty, all you'll have to do is add extra money. You'll have to mark that it is towards principal. If you just like send in a check to your bank, they'll just apply it to the next month, the interest also. So you don't want to do that. You want to apply it directly to the principal. And if you pay online, I know for my wife, she was paying off a loan, and that specifically had an additional little box that you could put money into, and it said additional principal. So you can do that, make sure. And think about how fast this will go. Now is the powerful thing. If you do this, now here's the thing, you don't have to pay the whole next month. You don't have to pay, you could pay just $100. And that $100, I want to show you what would happen if you took that same loan and you pay just $100 a month, how many years you would avoid having to pay back. And so in order to do that, we're going to go to the same website, and I'm going to put a link to it here. But right up here, I already have it in here. It's the same one, mortgagecalculator.org, but it says, notice, /calculator/ what if I pay more? /calculator.php. This is powerful, and I'll have a link for this. So you'll have this here at the top, extra mortgage payment calculator. You'll come down and you'll have this chart. So here it is again. Here's our $300,000 loan, 60% down payment, $240,000 loan, 3% interest over the course of 30 years. By the way, 30 years is 360 payments. If you haven't done the math yet. But so here we get to decide how much we pay extra per month and what that will do to the longevity of our loan. So let's say we pay $100 exactly. We're going to look at some different things here, and we can show the schedule also. We'll hit calculate. And here it is. Monthly principal and interest, we have to pay the $1,011.85, but now we're paying, because of the additional payment, a total of $1,111.85. The total monthly payments will be $364,000, but with the additional payment, it drops it down to $345,000, and it will save us $18,000. It will bring down the length of our loan to 25 years and 11 months. It will save us 4 years of having to pay. So on the end of your loan, you'll be paying 4 years less than if you wouldn't have added $100. Now, this is why you say $100, 4 years out of 30, it's not that big of a deal. Well, it is. I mean, when you get to 26 years, you'll be like, whew, we're done with this. But what if you were to put, once again, more toward the payment? Let's show what happens. Let's try it again. So let's go back to our chart here. Instead of paying the $100, what we had here, I want to look at this. We'll pay this here. Let's say $413. Instead of $412, we'll round it up to $413. What if you were to scrounge up an extra $413 every single month and throw that additionally onto your mortgage? Let's see what happens. Here it is. This brings the length of your mortgage from 30 years, which is if you were paying just this price. Now you're paying for $1,000. Instead, you're paying $1,424. This brings the length of your mortgage down to 18 years. So you'll end up saving 11 years, almost 12 years over the course of your mortgage. I mean, this is incredible. And this is the thing. See, typically, over the course of your work, you're going to start making more money. You don't sit for 20 years making the same income. If you do, I mean, something's wrong. I mean, you literally, even if, no matter what job you're in, over the course of 18 years, you better be getting a raise over that time period. So as you're getting a raise, you don't want to just be throwing like $413 extra every year. You want to get, you're adding more and more and more. And the average family that really tackles this and really fights with all they can, they're going to drop it down significantly more than 18 years. Many families, you've probably heard of like Dave Ramsey, many of the people who watch his show or try the things that he says, they pay their home off, I don't know, like 7 years or something like that. You can do this. And I know you can. It's totally possible, totally legal. And then you have your money left over to be, instead of, you being a slave to the bank, because you don't own your house as long as the bank owns it. We say, oh yeah, I bought the house. Well, you didn't buy it until you pay that last payment off. When you pay that last payment off, then you actually get to the actual paperwork that shows that you own that house. Because before that, the bank owns your house, right? And so until that point, until that day, then finally you will become the master of your own domain, as it were. Because you probably know the proverb that says the borrower is a what? A slave to the lender, right? A borrower is a slave to the lender, and that's true. And so this is how you can get out of slavery quicker. And I know some people are going to say, you could just take your money and take that money, you could just invest it and make much more money. But here's the thing. There have been times where the stock market crashes. You think of the Great Depression, not just the Great Recession, but the Great Depression. The stock market dropped like 90%. So let's say you put tons of money in the stock market, it drops 90% and you lose your job. So now you don't even potentially have the money to pay off your house, and you don't have a job. Now, hopefully that won't happen anytime soon, but theoretically it could. I mean, it may not. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just saying there is freedom. There is amazing freedom in living in a paid-for house. And so, sure, you still got to pay your taxes and things like this, but at least you don't have to pay that massive, which is your biggest bill generally for most people. The biggest bill that you have is your mortgage. So this is a way that you can do this much more rapidly. If you want, I could show you the technicalities on why this all happens, why you pay this much interest every month. I could totally show you that. And the more you know about these things, there really is power in knowledge. You've heard that, right? Knowledge is power. This is true. But the power is not in just knowing this, it's in implementing it. So can you find money somewhere? If you get an extra, maybe you get a bonus at the end of the year, chuck that against your mortgage. Boom, you might take a whole month off, or you save hundreds of dollars just by throwing some extra money at your mortgage. Powerful information. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, share them down below. God bless and have a fantastic day.